So Lamar said he's going to make me look beautiful. We'll see when he's done.
A sailboat in the moonlight and June. Wouldn't that be heaven? Oh, heaven just for two. A soft breeze on a June night and June. What a perfect setting for letting dreams come true.
It is a lovely morning. We're just leaving Cape May now. We're going down the Cape May Canal, which runs off into Delaware Bay. We're going to try and make the run up Delaware Bay to Delaware City tonight. There's a free dock there we can tie up to, and I think we can't overnight there, but maybe this time of year they'll let us. Delaware Bay is a bit of a tricky bay to negotiate because the tides are quite strong and the wind has to be just in the right direction because it's a big funnel. So today's our day. We couldn't have stayed a day more. Julie and Vince, our good friends, have been left behind. They've got a water pump issue. They're going to try and catch up at some point, but goodbye to them for the time being, and we've had a great time with you. That's something else about this cruising. You meet a pile of people, lovely people on the water, and you make a lot of friends, but you also say goodbye a lot. So today we're following about 4 boats down the Delaware that we're aware of, and it's going to be a fun trip, so stay tuned. Delaware Bay is living up to her reputation. She's quite a shallow bay, so the waves can be quite steep over the shoals. We've hit spots here, we're out in the middle almost, and we've hit spots that are 9 feet deep, you know. Very much like the Bay of Quinte back home, quite a shallow bit of water. Here you can see in the enclosure, I can just stick my head out so we can watch for pots, which is another thing we've been told about this bay. You got to watch out for fishing gear, and there was a whole string of nets actually that ran along one of the shoals we went by that blocked our path. We actually had to go out and around them. So you're gonna have to keep a close watch, somebody with an eye on the water all the time, and you're gonna have to make a run to the end of this bay because there's no protection along the way. So we're about I want to say about 35 miles right now away from any protection. We've got to make the run and we've got to get it over with or turn around and go back. So that's where we're at. Another thing we've been told about Delaware Bay is that you're going to see a lot of shipping. And we didn't see a lot at first, but as we get closer to the center of the bay, where the primary shipping channels are, it's unbelievable how many boats are going north. just we'll swing the camera out. It's going to be kind of noisy because of the wind, but just want to show you on the horizon. Piles and piles of boats. So that's what we're contending with as we go along. We got to stay out of their way and try to maintain our own course at the same time, and trying to sail at the same time, which right now we're unable to because of the wind angle. That's where we're at. Debbie and I are in Delaware City, just at the top of the Delaware where the C&D Canal starts, and it's a beautiful little town with lots of really interesting architecture. We're having fun riding around. Oh, where are we going?
I'm just seeing a stone here.
Yeah.
Or is that 19? 1928, right?
Yep.
1928, looked like 18. Some of those stones are really old.
Delaware apparently was kind of neutral in the American Civil War. They had a gunpowder plant here, and they serviced both sides of the conflict. So apparently, if I've got this correct, the peoples who lived on the south side of the canal, or it'd be the east side of the canal, they were for the south, and the people living on the west side of the canal, they were for the north. But they never had any conflict.
That's how they
here.
divided it.
That's how they divided it.
Yeah.
But they never really had any conflict in Delaware at all, apparently. And the architecture here is really cool. And there's a prisoner of war camp here that was just across the water from Delaware City. Really beautiful. It's a nice way to get to know the town, though, if you're on a bicycle, I find. You get to cover a bit of ground and you sure can see a lot. Deb was just commenting on the streets. There's Adams Street and Jefferson Street and William Street, and it's all historical things. Oh, sorry. I thought she knew we were going to make that turn.
How would I know that? Chris.
Look at this place. What's your name?
My name's Lamar. I used to have a barber shop in Middletown for 30 years.
Really?
And I've been here with Crystal going on 2 years. So January I've been in business for 32 years.
32 years.
Yep, I was 19 years old when I started, when I opened up my first business, and I'm 51 now.
Still a young man, you'll be going for a while yet?
Yeah. Full time, and you know, my customers, they ain't trying to get me to leave yet. They don't want me to retire.
I guess not. You know, the guy who cut my hair back home for years, I think he was 81 or 82 years old when he stopped. Sonny. And yeah. You got a while yet to go.
Yeah.
So Lamar said he's going to make me look beautiful. We'll see when he's done. So after a comfortable stay for a couple days, Deb and I are just leaving, what's it called again?
Delaware City.
Delaware City. And quite a nice spot.
We're just old enough that both our brains combined
Make one.
so it's good.
Anyway, it's a nice place. We stayed at the Delaware City Marina, which is a privately owned enterprise, and a couple dollars a foot, leave the boat here, and it was quite a comfortable little stay. So now we're going to go and do some anchoring in Chesapeake City, which is just up the canal. So about 12 miles to go, and we'll be tucked into this little bay. It's very windy today, and we're going to stick our nose back out in Delaware Bay.
As we're leaving Delaware City, we're heading out into the Delaware Bay, and it's blowing out here. I don't know if you can see this, but all of a sudden we're starting to rock.
What it looks like when tide opposes wind. Delaware Bay is a big funnel, and the tide gets really shoved up here, and we're leaving to head into the canal from Delaware City, and this wind is only 35 knots maybe. I'm seeing 25 on my dial and I'm going 31 knots probably, but it's hitting a tide, and because it's hitting the tide, it's creating these huge swells. They don't look as big on the camera, but some of these valleys are 5 feet deep, and the boats, and they're very short intervals. So
We sail on Lake Ontario. We're used to it.
Yeah, you miss Lake Ontario when you see this. Tides are certainly adding a component to the whole thing that we hadn't counted on. But interesting.
Huge difference.
Nothing there.
Well, I can see the wind still blowing the water over this break wall.
Yeah.
But it is. What's the wind?
36.
36 knots of wind. Holy smokes. I'm sure we'll see worse.
We're heeling because of the wind under bare poles going into the C&D Canal. Look at that. You okay down there, dear?
What's that?
You okay?
Yeah.
She's a sailor girl, eh?
Oh.
Now she's got a nice sailor coat.
Okay. Here's the radio. Partway up it, there is a railroad bridge, and the clearance is only 45 feet, 44 feet, so you have to hail them on 13 and make sure that the bridge is up if you can't get under a bridge that's 44 feet. So if you're coming down this way, keep that in mind.
That would hurt.
That would hurt. I'm just going to let them see the bridge.
Deb and I are going down the C&D Canal now, and we got a bit of time to kill. We thought maybe we would just have a little chat about a few things. Are you having a good time?
Yes, I'm having a good time.
So, what have been the highlights for you so far?
I suppose the overnight on the Atlantic, the crossing. You know, I was a little stressed about it, but it was okay. It was a bit rough. And just looking for lights and
racing to get things right now.
That's right, yeah. So that stressed me out a little bit, but I mean, every time you do something for the first time, it's a little stressful. The next time I do it, it'll be less stressful, and the time after that, it will be even less stressful, and then eventually I can do it without any stress.
Yep.
I hope. And
well, just today going out of that the old C&D Canal
Yeah.
was crazy rough, and yet it's fine.
Windover responded
Really well.
beautifully, yeah.
Really well.
And I think another highlight for me, and always, because I'm very social, I'm a chatterbox, and I love meeting new people. I love people. People are good. And we've met so many nice people.
Yeah.
Always, everybody has a story, and
We're just gotta
Yeah.
look ahead a bit there. Okay.
and people are good. So we really enjoyed meeting.
You kind of bump into the same people over and over again as you move from anchorage to anchorage, because everybody, people get delayed with a bit of a repair, and others move on, and it's kind of doing hopscotch all the way down the coast. So it's really nice that way.
We've been sailing probably for a week and a half with one particular couple on a Shannon 38, which is a gorgeous boat. I'm hoping to do an interview with her about her boat, and they were going to leave with us on the Delaware, but they got held back because of a motor pump on their motor, water pump. So they're going to go on the outside now. They're going to miss the Chesapeake, but we hope to catch up with them down south in a couple weeks.
Probably in Portsmouth and Norfolk,
Yeah,
something like
so
that.
we really hit it off well with them.
Yeah.
But
Hi, Julie and Vince
yeah,
and Scupper.
and they have this little dog. So Chris and I get our dog fix when they come around too, because
That's right.
we're not sailing with any pets, and we are dog lovers and pet lovers.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not so much pets.
Yeah. I did notice one thing too, is that the navigation has been a lot easier than I had initially thought, because of the chart plotter and because of just the modern conveniences we have now. Getting from point A to point B is not as much of a chore as it was even 5-6 years ago. So maybe 10 years ago, I should say. So really enjoying that we can just make a few waypoints and just connect the dots as we go down the bay, and we can avoid shallows. We can, we got to keep an eye out for decks and other floating debris, but basically we know what we're going to be going through, and we've got to also avoid shipping. So we can focus on things like that and not have to worry about the depth below us and where we're going and that kind of thing. So I think it's made cruising more accessible, and certainly with the price of boats now, more accessible still. So I think there's really almost no excuse anymore for people who have not been going because of the money, or because of fear of getting lost or whatever. I got a $500 chart plotter and a $200 chart that's on it. Now we do have paper charts, but we haven't looked at them very much, really.
Well, we still have them. We pull them out, and they're always there for us in case we need them. So.
And Skipper Bob is a fantastic publication too.
Yeah.
That tells you from anchorage to anchorage to anchorage. The distance between the anchorages, the things you're going to find there. Where there are free docks, where there are docks you have to pay for.
We love free.
And we love free.
Yeah. I wanted to mention too about when we left Cape May. We left. There was quite a few sailboats going out, and we were in the company of a Shannon 38, a West Sail 32, an Alawela. I can never say that one.
All the way.
Delaware.
Yeah.
Anyway, 38, and there was one other heavy displacement boat that we ran into as well.
Yeah, I forget.
But anyway,
big guy.
Yeah, all these heavy hitters. I mean, these are the boats that are on on our short list for sure.
Real blue water boats.
Yeah.
You know?
And so we went out with Windover, who has a displacement of 9,800 pounds. These boats are 20,000 pounds plus. The West Sail, I'm not too sure, but I think there's 27,000 pounds. And we probably got banged around a lot more than they did, but we did come in a half an hour of each other. So that was kind of cool.
So what she lacks for weight, she makes up for in speed.
Yeah.
So we're able to keep up with much bigger boats, 38 footers, 36 footers. But also, this full enclosure again has been a godsend. Like, these guys were outside in these big, heavy displacement boats. Yeah, they were comfortable as far as movement's concerned, but as far as the temperature's concerned, I don't think I'd go out without an enclosure again. You know?
Well, we didn't get wet.
We didn't get wet. We didn't get cold. We were out of the wind.
Yeah.
Like,
I have found one downfall, and that was when I tossed a stern line when Chris and I were docking to the dock attendant and he missed it. It was probably my throwing, not his fault. But the line went in the water and I had to try and reach around this panel to try and grab the stern line where it was hooked on. So we're going to have to try and figure something out that doesn't happen again, like maybe tie it a little closer forward or loop it when I throw it or something. But, and of course then the propeller's running and, you know, Chris had to throw it into neutral because we didn't want the line wrapped around the prop. So that was a little bit of a shit show. And, but, I mean, not that bad.
Is that the technical term?
The technical term is shit show. So, anyway. But really, we love the full enclosure. And because we have a smaller boat, we put it on because we knew that this would almost create a new room for us. And so it gives us just a little bit more living space. It's like our Florida room.
Yeah. I'm just going to wrap this up with one more thing, and that is that by subscribing and sharing with your friends, you make us more important to YouTube. And so it's very important, if you've not done so yet, that you subscribe. And secondly, that if you have subscribed, please share it with your friends. We need to get up to a point of about 1,000 subscribers, which we've planned on doing by late next year. But we'd like to get there earlier if we could. The sooner we reach that threshold, the sooner we become an important service provider, I guess, to YouTube. And also we begin getting paid for what we do. So we just hope that all of you will subscribe, all of you will share. We love your comments. We love to hear your thoughts on the things we do and your encouragement. And it makes for some interesting reading in the evenings for us. So please continue to give us comments. And thank you for watching.
Peace out.
Over.
As we're leaving the Dawson City, oh my gosh.
Talk to me.